So you're thinking about moving to Bellevue, Washington.
Or Kirkland.
In this video, we're going to be comparing Bellevue and Kirkland. So kind of the pros and cons of each and really just how they compare to each or to each other. So you can find out a little bit more about each one and also what might be a better fit for you, for your lifestyle, price points, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know all there is to know about living in King County, Washington, or places like Bellevue and Kirkland like we're talking about today, then hit the subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications. That way you can be the first to be notified of a new video of Kirkland, Bellevue, or one of our other favorite cities here in King County. I'm Brad Decatur, Derek Decatur here, and we're the Decatur home team. We get calls and texts and emails from people just like you every day who are looking to make their move to King County. So whether you're 1 day or 1 year away, we'd love to help you make a smooth move. All the contact info is below, so shoot us a call, text, DM, or hop on a Zoom call to find out what the best area is for you and how we can help. So today we're doing the comparison video, right? So let's kick it off. Bellevue versus Kirkland. Let's just say
versus Kirkland.
What's your first thought?
Bellevue versus Kirkland. Well, same Bellevue. Bellevue's big city around here. So, Kirkland is still coming from the Issaquah area where we kind of grew up. Kirkland is still a city-ish, It's not Bellevue, though. Like, Bellevue is the big city. You're going to go to Kirkland. You're going to get some good time out on the water, some good restaurants down there on the shore. But that's kind of how I think of Bellevue versus Kirkland. I think of Bellevue as it's going to be your big city compared to Kirkland.
Totally, yeah. Bellevue is a huge city. It is bigger in general, both population and area. So Bellevue is definitely bigger. So let's touch on a few different points and kind of how they compare and see if we can find a winner for each, then see if we can kind of wrap it all in a bow for the viewer here. So size, location, population, Bellevue is going to be the winner as far as size. It's bigger. It's got more people. Next up would be like schools. What do you think about school districts? Yeah,
school districts, you're going to be, Bellevue's going to win out if you go based off of all the rankings and statewide. Bellevue's going to be 1 or 2 depending on the year. But Kirkland School District is right there. The Lake Washington School District is always in the top 5.
Yeah, it's 4, 3, and 4.
Yeah, it's always right there. So we're splitting hairs a little bit. But if you're going to give the edge to one of them, it's going to be Bellevue.
Yeah, some even prefer Lake Washington.
Sure.
Lake Washington School District, super good school district. So yeah, it's basically a tie, but it's according to greatschools.org, Bellevue's the winner, but Bellevue's 1 and 2 every single year, and Lake Washington is 3 and 4 basically every single year.
You can't go wrong.
So yeah, they're both good. Next up, we can talk about, I guess, the industries, economics, so jobs and stuff like that. So Bellevue, as you probably know, is the kind of the tech hub. It's the new Seattle, so we have lots of tech jobs, home to T-Mobile, Amazon, Microsoft, to name a few. Some pretty big names, so probably not going anywhere.
Probably heard of those, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, and so you've got all that tech obviously in Bellevue, but people, it's spreading out a little bit. Google is in Kirkland. I know there's a good hub there in Kirkland as well, and a lot of the Google employees I know are living and moving over to Kirkland. So you've got that too.
Yep, totally.
Yep.
But significantly less jobs in Kirkland itself. I mean, there's the little downtown, but I think of Kirkland as more of like a housing development, not one development, but it's basically a lot of neighborhoods, and they have that small, little downtown, nothing like Bellevue's downtown or Bell Square, but it's a super cool downtown. So I don't know, when comparing the downtowns, it depends on what you're looking for, but Kirkland, waterfront, our team member calls it quaint. Totally agree.
Yes.
Little quaint downtown. It's got these really cool shops and pubs. It's pretty small, but it's on the water. They have the boats, so it's just a different feel.
It's like it feels more walkable. It feels more like you're in your city, walking around versus Bellevue. You're like I'm in
the big city.
I'm in the big I'm in the big city. Like Kirkland downtown, like you said, you got the waterfront. You can walk. You got 2 main drags right there. I mean, it's much quainter.
It is quainter.
That is a good,
It is more quaint. Cool. Okay. Next up would be like cost of living. So again, they're touching. So cost of living for like goods and services and shopping, basically the same. Maybe it costs a hair more to get your nails done in Bellevue than Kirkland or something, but for the most part the same. And real estate prices wise, these are both very expensive cities in the King County area. Bellevue and Kirkland, both crazy. On average, Bellevue is going to be a little bit more expensive, but that's probably mostly due to just being actually downtown. Like the big neighborhoods that are the big houses that are right in downtown Bellevue are like Medina, for example, is basically Bellevue. It's technically its own city, but those are, very, very expensive houses.
That's a different ball game.
Different ball game. And then Kirkland, if you're downtown, there's west of Market and east of Market. Those are also very, very expensive homes. But I would say both are fairly similar as far as like your average price, but not your average, but your like regular average house. So 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. If you're in like, Eastgate, Factoria is still part of Bellevue, that's pretty affordable compared to downtown. And then Kirkland, if you're in like Rose Hill or kind of the outskirts, if you're not downtown, it's kind of a similar price point. So you're still gonna be able to get in both these cities for like your average price point in these areas, but Bellevue's gonna take the cake on some luxury.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in that Kirkland area for that, that $1 million home, that 1.2 that's going to give you kind of that standard house.
Yep.
Obviously there's pockets where you can get that first time home buyer home, for $800,000, $600,000, depending on where you're at. But yeah, housing markets are going to be a difference between those two, but not as drastic as some other cities in King County for sure.
Both like one of the two most expensive cities.
Yeah.
So, but Bellevue, according to the MLS, is going to be more expensive. So
sure. And then of course there is the lifestyle and things to do. Differences between Kirkland and Bellevue. So Brad, what would be your kind of go-to thing to do in Kirkland versus your go-to thing to do in Bellevue?
Well, Kirkland, I think the little downtown, the quaintness of downtown is really the draw, and being on the water. So I think going down, like what I've done is go to lunch or go to the Flat Stick Pub to do your mini putt and get a beer, and then walk like the pier right on the water. So that's a pretty cool thing to do. That's what I would do. Or like Juanita Park would be good. But for Bellevue, I'm like basically going to like most likely to go shopping or go to a more nicer restaurant, like a date night type thing. You can date night in Kirkland as well, but that's the difference I see of things to do in the city. There's other stuff too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Downtown Kirkland is going to be that just kind of a night out, just a fun night. Maybe I also think of a Kirkland as a good spot to just go and hang out during the day.
Yeah.
Because you are on the waterfront there.
Yep.
Whereas I almost look at Bellevue as more of the nightlife. If
I would agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kirkland, you go down there at noon, you get some lunch, you grab a beer, you kind of walk around a little while, you stop in some shops. A little bit vastly different actually than cruising around Bellevue when it's packed at 6-7 o'clock at night.
That's another thing too, is Bellevue's going to be significantly more crowded. Bellevue Square, for example, never going to not be busy for the most part. Even like just walking on Bellevue Way, which is the main drag there where all the shops and all the commercial stuff is, Bellevue's going to have a lot of people walking like you're walking the streets of New York. Not really, but Kirkland's not like that. There's going to be a lot less going on. Another thing about Kirkland is like bridle trails.
Yep.
So this is like horse property, big trails, and open space. Bellevue has like the Bellevue parks and stuff, but it's really totally different. This is like real parks.
Yeah, you're not riding your horse through Bellevue.
No. Bellevue Park is a well-maintained grass circle. It's awesome. Nothing wrong with it.
They got the ice skating rink there in the winter too, which is pretty
true.
Sweet. I do love that.
Different things to do.
Yep.
I would say Kirkland has more rural and like activity stuff to do, but if you're looking for luxury shopping, general shopping, maybe more of a nightlife, then I would say Bellevue. So it depends what you're looking for.
Agreed.
Cool. So another thing to touch on is location. If you're watching this video, you maybe already know that these are touching. We're trying to compare cities that are close together and close in pricing. So Bellevue is going to be south of Kirkland. Kirkland's going to be north of Bellevue, but both east side of the lake here. Both are going to get you to Seattle pretty quickly, depending on which part you're in. You could be I-90 on the south side of Bellevue. You could be going over 520 if you're on the north side of Bellevue. Kirkland, you'd probably go 520 to get over to Seattle. That's pretty much it for location.
They're pretty comparable. I mean, the only difference is if you're going to be going north, you're closer if you start in Kirkland.
Yeah, or some airport, I guess. If you're going to SeaTac,
airport, Bellevue going to be a little bit closer, especially where you're at, depending on where you're at in Bellevue. But we're tacking on what, 10 minutes to the drive, depending on where you're at. Obviously,
Bellevue's big, so if you're in South Bellevue, to North Bellevue, even is pretty far apart.
Yeah.
I would say so. As a whole, Bellevue would take the cake because Bellevue is really like actually central. It's cut in half with 405 and I-90 right there. So no matter where you're going, if you're going to the mountains, airport, Seattle, anywhere north, Bellevue is like this perfect spot.
It is right there. Yeah, it is. It is fairly central.
Yep, central. So I think that's it. Anything else that comes to mind? Just differences, benefits, downsides?
No. I think we hit on the big ones. Kirkland, I think it's the obviously Bellevue and Kirkland. I mean, all of these cities on the east side have been around for a long time. But I mean, Kirkland is a very large. There's a lot of growth in Kirkland area in some of those neighborhoods that have been around for a very long time, and a lot of those neighborhoods are getting kind of a facelift, if you will, which is, I think, a cool opportunity for depending on what you're looking for in the housing market too.
Yeah, totally. I would say the main differences are just that Bellevue is more of a big city. That's the main thing. So if you're city living and that's what you're looking for, then definitely Bellevue will be the standalone winner, by far. If you're looking to have a little bit more of a quieter, smaller town, then Kirkland. And Kirkland's cool because it's kind of has that quieter, smaller town, but it still like has this city life on like the little downtown. And then outskirts for both of them are going to be, I would say, similar. Kirkland's going to have more land, some more stuff like the bridle trails. But both are going to have these older 80s neighborhoods you can get in for starting price points, and Eastgate Factoria for Bellevue or Rose Hill for Kirkland. So yeah, always depends on what is best for the person actually doing it and what they're looking for.
Yep, absolutely.
So if this is your first time to the channel in general and you want to learn more about either Bellevue or Kirkland, we put all of our cities into playlists. So they should be somewhere at the top of the page of our channel. So if you're looking at Bellevue or Kirkland, you're probably also interested in like Redmond, Sammamish, Issaquah. So be sure to check out all the areas so you can get an idea of what's best for you there. And if you're looking or getting to the point where you're looking to make a move, that's what we're here to do, is to help you do that, so we can hop on a Zoom call to talk to you about what the different locations are and what might fit your lifestyle better and how we might be able to help you. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. See you next time.